What is up, everybody? We are on the road to the supposed freest state in the union of this once constitutional republic. I want to continue to call it a constitutional republic because that's what it was founded as, and that's what gave a real separation of powers between the state and the federal government. You know, this isn't a democracy that we live in. We live in something very, very different than that, okay? A democracy is mob rule, essentially. We have democratic ideals, but we are, in fact, a constitutional republic, and it is, 50 individual states that make up this great nation. And South Dakota, by every metric that I've seen, online or otherwise, right now is supposedly the most free state in the union, shut down the least, has the least restrictions, is the most inviting, refuses to cow down to the mob, if you will. We're not talking about the Fredo mob or the Italian mob. We're talking about the mob of folks that seems so uneducated and so quick to jump on any ideal of the manufactured outrage purported by the mainstream media industrial complex, an organization that is essentially ruled over by the predator class. 71 watching, 17 thumbs up. Let's get it up there. So let's talk about the trip so far, okay? And again, thank you guys so much, all you donors out there that have given to the GoFundMe, whether it's a little or a lot. Without you, I couldn't be doing this. As you know, we're fully demonetized on here. I'm really thinking about starting to post to a second channel as well, because I wouldn't be surprised if it would take, we're already 2+ months deep of waiting for that review on the channel, right? I don't know they're going to ever review it. We could be 6 months down the line and it's just a big FU to Jason Burmis and the Burmis Brigade. So let's go through it. I started my trip visiting the Jackman brothers out in New Hampshire, the live free or die state. And I got to tell you, compared to New York, oh my goodness, thank the Lord. I needed that. I needed that as some encouragement that there were still some people up in the Northeast that were not, again, cowing down to this mob-like mentality where we must fear human contact, fear human interaction, not shake each other's hands, not act like human beings in this transhumanist agenda. I said it from the very, very beginning with this COVID-1984 that it was a global transformative event. And, I said it was 9/11 meets 1929 in a COVID-1984, which was coined by James Corbett, actually, when we were talking with each other on each of these things. Now, a lot of businesses, middle America businesses of the middle class, or what was left of it, and the upper middle class, have already been hit hard, and many of them will not return. Most likely in those New York, New Jersey regions, where we've basically given carte blanche to executive orders by cartel members. That's what you are, Cuomo. You're a cartel capo. I know you're the governor. You're the governor. Big deal. He's lowbrow, folks. He's not at the top at all. He's carrying out orders, and he makes me sick. He's a company man, and he's somebody they go to present information to the public. Oh, you like my daughters? I like meatballs. Relate to me. Oh, I'm worried about my brother Chris. Wah! I think it's hilarious when Chris Rock jokes about dead people from the coronavirus. All facts, no big deal. So that part of New Hampshire, out by Keene, it was nice to see really the only panic coming from corporate businesses, right? But at the same time, when I went into a restaurant, I wasn't required to wear a mask like when I had to go sit down or get up to use the bathroom, and they're still pulling that bullshiz over in New York State. That, remember, they did. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that, guys. We are on the road, so you know how it goes. It comes in and out. So, New Hampshire was encouraging. Next spot on the trip. We went out to Ohio, stopped outside of Cleveland, which was the major city. On the way in, we had driven through Vermont. I didn't really stop there. We get to Cleveland. Again, another area where it seemed like the only people that were going along with the mask stuff and the bullshiz were the Walmarts of the world, were the big, we've got national advertising type businesses. Everybody else, they wanted nothing to do with it. When I went into checking at hotels there, no one was wearing masks. I didn't have to, was that where I didn't have to sign anymore? Yeah, that's right. New Hampshire, I had to sign some nonsense piece of paper that said coming into their state, I had quarantined myself for 14 days. That's imagination land. It's just like when I get back to New York, I'm not quarantining myself for 14 days, no matter what state Lord Cuomo puts on his isolation list. Okay, that's never going to happen. And I dare a contact tracer to come to me. I dare you to call me. I'm going to put you on blast so quick. Hey, I got an idea. If you're so concerned about me staying in my house, send Cuomo my way. Send him without his bodyguards. Let him as a man tell me face to face that I'm not allowed to leave my home if I'm not sick. Go ahead. Let's see what happens about that. How about you, Bloomberg? You want to step in without your bodyguards, with your contact tracing force, and get in my face and tell me what to do? Your billions ain't going to last with me, buddy. I promise you that. Let's see how it goes. So then, as a lot of you guys know, I made my way to Missouri after spending a few days out in Cleveland and getting together with a couple of the folks from Action for Assange, both Andrew and Taylor, doing some videos with them, talking about a very real issue, right? That's a very real issue that is continuing to this day, that the next chapter of, as long as nothing occurs in between, is going to happen in September. And something that a lot of people that want to blindly follow Trump and his administration refuse to even address. I had somebody, he started DMing me on Facebook and telling me that I needed to get with Owen Schroyer, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, dude, InfoWars ain't having Jason Burmis on, okay, to talk to or debate Owen Schroyer. I met Owen once. I've seen him a few times. I mean, he was out, actually, Owen Schroyer was out at Bilderberg 2017 after Luke Rudowski called out InfoWars for not being there on that Friday. They showed up the next Saturday. I didn't talk to him then. I barely talked to him when I saw him in February. But I said to him, listen, man, Rob Dew, Alex Jones, and I love Dew, by the way, they ain't going to have me anywhere near InfoWars. You know why? Because I don't cow down to the crowd. I'm not trying to get viewers and clicks and just go with the flow. I'm going to mention the OPCW. I'm going to talk about Assange. I'm going to talk about the counterintelligence 2020 to 2022 documents. Okay? I'm going to hold people accountable. And look, Schroyer is great when he's going up against the lefty. I ain't no lefty. All right? It ain't partisan politics over here. I don't play that game. I play the truth. And because of that, right now, I'm losing a lot of subscribers because I'm calling out nonsense. And being skeptical of Wayfair is healthy. Okay? I never said there's nothing there, it's all a hoax. I said, look, there's a lot of weird things here. We don't know exactly what's going on. And look who the promoters of it are. The people promoting it are the ones that promote the most hoaxes that get debunked. And you better believe that some of those people that are throwing this stuff out there are doing so disingenuously. Okay, not everybody, not all the researchers, but, again, shout out to, like, Jamie Deluxe, man. I watched that video. I mentioned it this morning on the Queen for a Day video with Ghislaine Maxwell. And by the way, 50 watching, 65 thumbs up, let's get it up. And he started out with Wayfair and said, you know what? There was a lot of things that just seemed too weird, too convenient, to the point where it looks like it may be a setup. And even Jones said the same thing. Even Jones said it looked like a setup. So, again, we'll lose subscribers, that's fine. Hopefully we get them back. Hopefully we get them back when they use a little discernment and they realize they've been had, right? When they realize they've been lied to. When they realize LARPing should be left to people with swords and night outfits in a park somewhere. That's the only LARPing to me that's real. When you acknowledge out of the gates you're in a live action role play. Otherwise it's just lying. Otherwise it's just disinfo. Otherwise it's just Nasara, which has been around, basically a lot of the stuff that Q promotes and the ideals behind was Nasara 10, 15, even close to 20 years ago now. Look up Nasara. All made up. All imagination land. All a bunch of keyboard cowboys behind message boards promoting a hoax. Okay? So let's talk about Missouri a little bit more. I really enjoyed Missouri, man. I think I'm still in the state. I might be on my way out of it. I drove through Kansas City a while back. It looked pretty nice. I didn't stop in. I had originally planned on doing the Kansas City thing, but I ended up staying outside of St. Louis, which I really enjoyed, for about 5 days. And I stayed in an area called Chesterfield. Really liked it. Really enjoyed it. And then I went to the Ozarks yesterday. And it's not like I did a bunch of stuff in the Ozarks, but I drove through the communities, I hung out, I did my videos, I relaxed, and I checked out the scene. I actually ate at an awesome steakhouse where it was, FDS, which I guess there's like 6 of them, but some of them are known as like Fish Daddies. I was talking to the bartender there. And first of all, I was going to go to the Texas Roadhouse, right? They're by each other. So I've been to a Texas Roadhouse. I know what it tastes like. I know what I'm gonna pay to go there. It was so packed, I walked right out. I wasn't gonna wait 30 minutes for a seat. Okay? So right next to it was this it looked highbrow. I was almost like, is there a dress code here? I'm sitting here in a t-shirt and jeans. Am I gonna be able to get in? But I'm like, F it, let's try it. So I walk in and sure enough, it looks like a high-end steakhouse. I'm like, uh-oh. And, what I was wearing, I'm going to be honest with you. I said I wanted to sit at the bar. It looked like they nooked me around the corner so nobody could see me at the bar. And like the one spot where you couldn't see me, they probably shamed what I was wearing. And I'm like, oh boy, these prices are going to be ridiculous. Nope. I get the menu. And there was like a 3-dip chip. It was a bean dip, queso dip, salsa dip deal for $4.99. And I'm like, these are going to be like Dixies, little Dixies. It comes out, and I was pretty surprised. And then for, I think it was like $14, I got a rack of ribs and shrimp. That with my Arnold Palmer, because I wasn't feeling like a draft beer ski and hutch yesterday. It all came to like $25 at an ups. Sorry about that, guys. We're losing a little bit of service here and there, but if you missed it, I said, look, Missouri felt really good, down to earth, hometown style, and certainly, out of every far, it seems to be winning. But again, we're on our way right now to South Dakota. I was going to hit Madison, Wisconsin. I don't know, maybe we'll hit that on the way back through. I wasn't in love with the fact that they ended up going to a mask order there. That's what kind of turned me off to stop. I think North Dakota is still on the list. We'll see. But as long as it continues to go through, I think I'm going to go hit Iowa as well. For, the 18th? For Saturday, where Pat Miletich is going to kickbox Michael Nunn. And I think it's the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. Apparently, if they go by half, it's a 12,000 person venue, so you can still have 6,000 people there. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm longing for a little bit of normalcy. And as you guys know, the one thing I do per sports that I go to is I go to these mixed martial arts events, right? And the day everything locked down, I was supposed to go to Connecticut for Bellator on the 13th. And literally, they did the weigh-ins the day before. I had a bad feeling, and that day they canceled it. I'm glad I didn't drive out there. But I miss it. And, I think it would be big to be able to show people that crowds of 6,000 are okay, even when they're not protesting for Black Lives Matter. I know it's crazy to think that somehow the science would allow for large-scale protests to be safer than being in a sports arena, but that's what the mainstream media muppets want you to believe. So I'm really psyched to get to South Dakota, to see how the people are, to let you guys know how they are. I'm psyched to go to a sporting event out in Iowa if we do it. And I'm just excited to get to the next phase of my life. And that doesn't mean I'm going to stop fighting for New York. I got so many friends and family there, I can't imagine. And it hurts me and it pains me that, this is the final straw. It's time to get out. But what are you staying for? What are you staying for, you 10 million people that are outside of the city in Long Island? High taxes, over-the-top restrictions, Orwellian laws and rules. What, bail reform, which isn't bail reform at all, it's catch and release prisoners? What are you doing? Why are you staying? Why did I stay so long? I don't know. But, on this adventure, I am looking forward to every day. I'm smiling more and more and more and more as I progress through this trip. And I just want everybody out there to know that your future isn't written in stone, right? That you create your own future. That you're the person that decides how far you take it and how much of a difference you can make. I ain't perfect. I make mistakes. But I know that a lot of my work out there has gotten to the right people. That people do watch this stuff. That they get it. And it brings real change. It brings other people together against a common enemy that has nothing to do with Republicans or Democrats. That has nothing to do with a right-wing or a left-wing ideology, and everything to do with pro-human, pro-fight the predator class agenda. And that's what we're about here at the Burmese Brigade. So thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Again, if you can, guys, the GoFundMe link is down below. Go make sure you check out my latest video on Ghislaine Maxwell and the problems with this Queen for a Day. Basically, opportunity for her to sing as much as she wants and see whether or not the prosecution is going to cut a deal. We did that early, and we're going to continue to try to produce videos like that one by finding a nice little spot with internet where I can set up my studio. So guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thumbs it up on the way out, guys.